made on our island community because within the scope of healthcare, clinical trials are something that you probably have heard about for many, many years, but they've never been held on Guam until now. Dr. Samir Ambrali is here, as well as Virginia McMahon, and we are going to talk about truly a monumental moment in Guam history. So thank you both for being with me.
Oh, well, it's good to be here.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, and of course, this is a collaborative partnership between the University of Guam, University of Hawaii,
Correct.
and FHP.
Yes, you're
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, okay, so.
And actually with the NCI also.
Oh,
I would say it's a collaboration with NCI since it's all NCI studies.
Oh, okay, so it's very, very legitimate. So, Doctor, I was wondering, like many people here, as I was saying, have heard about the whole clinical trial thing. Some people say they may want to participate, they may want to contribute. So exactly to what degree are we having clinical trials here on the island?
So the clinical trials that we are bringing to Guam, they will be sponsored by the NCI, the National Cancer Institute. And the NCI is a big organization that is responsible for leading cancer research, not only in nationwide but worldwide. So they have a big gamut of clinical trials that they do, ranging from prevention of cancer, screening for cancers, treatments, understanding survivorship, quality of life, and then how cancer care is delivered. So we are privy to that clinical trial portfolio from the NCI. And so what we are trying to do is select the trials that are most applicable to the residents of Guam, and then from there we can see what is more important. Now there will be some treatment trials, there will be some survivorship trials, some screening trials, and we will enroll patients to them as we can, and let patients have the opportunities to get treatments or therapies that are not otherwise available, and also in some instances contribute to science even when they don't have a direct benefit themselves, but they'll be pioneering these studies that they will help other patients down the line in a few years to get better treatments.
Very well. Okay, Virginia, I can't hear right now our Facebook commenters and everything, but I can already tell they're already asking right now. This sounds like a wonderful idea. Obviously, the data that will be generated from these trials and everything like that will improve the system of healthcare overall, but what would be the risk? Or is there one?
There are always risks, because the drugs that we're providing are investigational drugs. So they're new drugs, and depending upon how long they've been used, there may be side effects we may not know about. But the majority of the side effects, it's like with anything that you take, there's some risk, some side effects. But the advantage that I always say for being on a clinical trials is that we make sure that you're aware, patients are aware of every single side effect that's ever been reported, which can be overwhelming. But safety is one of our first issues, is to make sure patients are treated safely with all of these drugs, which is why we collect all that data.
Okay, how are you selecting your sample population for this, and how do people know if they indeed qualify? Like, is it like a completely random sample, or do you have specific cases that you're looking for, and those people will be tapped?
You have to go into a clinical trial. You have to meet certain specific criteria, so Dr. Ambrali can comment on this, but they have a new CRA, Clinical Research Associate, who will be assisting with evaluating patients and making sure that they are eligible for the study.
Yeah, the framework for this is well established already.
Correct.
Proven results.
Yes, and everyone will have a consent form. All of that information is in that consent form.
Well, dovetailing off of that, Doctor, some people might be concerned right now. They were like, as Guamanians, we'd like to take care of our neighbors. If there is a chance where we can help, hospitality is one of our strongest virtues. We want to do what we can, and cancer affects so many of us here on such a deep level. Everybody on Guam has a family member,
right,
a cousin or something like that has been touched by the dreaded disease. But for people that may be thinking, okay, well, the data that is generated, as I said, where does that go? And how secure can I be that if I participate, and if I volunteer and everything like that, the data will be secure?
Yeah, so these clinical trials are have very strong emphasis on privacy and safety. So they can be assured that the data that they are providing us is handled very securely. People who only are involved in research, that's probably going to be 2 or 3 people in my clinic, will be accessing the actual data that's taken from them and it is entered into a secure database which has multiple layers of security into it, and it is stored at a place in like the NCI, one of the research bases in big academic centers, and only we use de-identified information, meaning if somebody has the information that they cannot trace the patient, that information back to a particular patient. It's just going to be a number for them when they actually go through the data set. So privacy and safety is the first and foremost for our patients.
Outstanding. Okay, and the follow-up question to that is, what if people have participated in like similar clinical trials, perhaps on the mainland, or they've done anything? Can you be a candidate if you've volunteered for this kind of work before?
It depends. It depends upon the study. So, for example, if you're looking at a new drug, and you're looking at side effects, and you've been on a previous study that you may have side effects from, you may not be able to then participate in this new study because there may be conflicting information about what's causing those side effects.
Okay.
So, again, it all depends. But if you're going on maybe a quality of life, where you were on a quality of life study, and now you're going on to a treatment study, as long as the objectives do not clash, you would be able to go.
And again, well, the one thing we want to emphasize is this is good for Guam. This is good for science. This is how science marches on, as we always say.
That's
and
all of the treatments, your standard of care that you now have is based on clinical trials.
Well, we're very happy to have the both of you and your learned abilities to help us get healthier. So thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank you.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more information that we couldn't fit in this interview. So make sure to check us out on YouTube. You can read all of the information, and we'll see you after this break.